6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, Phoenix Destiny here, bringing you another episode of Gundam Battle Operation 2, and this is day 2 of my Road to Gold journey. Get a token for today's bonus, today's missions. Oh, 2 space battles and 2 wins.
Yo, 調子はさ、受け取ってくれ。ま、ざっとそんなところだ。
Oh, and as usual, disclaimer, viewer discretion is advised due to possible language. I mean, of all dailies, it had to be space dailies today. Yep, just like the room, just like before, there's nothing I really want to buy. Well, no sense in just waiting around. So, might as well go ahead and do this. Oh, and for those of you that watch this video, just know this. What I'm about to do, I don't recommend for a lot of you doing if you actually care about this game. But if you don't care about this game, then what I'm doing is basically the easiest way that you can win your dailies. At least for stuff like this. Pretty much an unrestricted 1v1. And note the words here, no fighting lobby. Alright. That's it. Let's begin. By right, I probably shouldn't have decided to stream this, since it's just going to be me just completing matches to get my dailies done, but honestly, I don't like space. I guess I'll just use my Gelgoog Marine. Gelgoog Beam Rifle, that looks good. Alright, let's begin. I know you might be thinking, wait a minute, but how can you win your dailies if there's no fighting involved? You'll see. But I guess in the meantime, I can use this time to actually talk about... I guess I can use this time to gather my thoughts about some games. Because honestly, this is really going to be me just doing nothing. So, that being said, topic of the day I want to introduce. A game from Compile Hard Idea Factory known as, well, you all know the game. You all know the game is Mega Dimension Neptunia VR. Like, honestly, that's the best way I can put this. Actually, I want to go up to see what this guy is using. Wait, is that a... That's a Blue Destiny Unit 3. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I'm actually digging that paint scheme. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I kind of doubt you're gonna see my video. Your name is Miles. I'm just gonna call you Miles, because that's what your name looks like. Miles, you got a pretty cool color scheme going on that Blue Destiny Unit 3 of yours. Seriously, I'm digging that gold. Anyways, onto my topic. So, Mega Dimension Neptunia VR. It's essentially a remake of Mega Dimension Neptunia. However, my thoughts about this are very biased, and, well, I just want to go ahead and get them out of the way. That being said, it's like this. I'm not going to spoil the story because it's a good game, you guys should go play it. And as far as the battle mechanics, for those of you that's not Neptunia fans, you probably won't understand. For those of you that are, and have played at least one of the previous games, you'll understand for what I'm about to say. The battle system in the game is a regression. Because, essentially, Mega Dimension Neptunia plays off of the Victory battle system, in which you have 3 different types of attacks to charge your EXC, but that's just it. You don't have to worry about like stuff like AP or whatever. You just have to make sure you have enough MP so you can go HCD, or rather... No, wait, that's not accurate. Or rather, you just have to make sure you can sufficiently charge your EXC level so you can go HCD, because that's how you transform. Anyways, the reason why I'm talking about this is because of the fact that, well, what they did in Mega Dimension VR, they regressed to the Mark II battle system, and what I mean by that is, the Mark II battle system went a little something like this. You had action points, and you had special points. The thing is, to go HDD in those games, you had to use up SP, and it required about 100 of it, so yeah. The thing that made it worse is that the longer you stayed in HDD, the longer you drained your SP. And you couldn't do, like, free combos in that game. You basically had to save up your AP to do... long combo strings. And not to mention, your special moves also took AP and SV. So, yeah. What has this got to do with Mega Dimension VR? Well, I already said it, but I'll say it again, just for clarification. They regressed to that battle system. There was nothing wrong with the battle system in the base game of Mega Dimension Neptunia. But to regress to a system like that? I'm sorry. Idea Factory, Compile Hard, you guys screwed up in that regard. And granted, the only thing I can think of, because the game did come out within the last couple of years, the only thing I can think of is this. There was actually a game you guys released recently called Death End Request. I've seen gameplay of it. It's a brilliant and ambitious game because you have a lot of dialogue, you have a good plot, and if nothing else, you guys definitely get chill points. No, not chill points. You guys definitely get points for the scare factor at the beginning of the game because, let's be honest, that is the darkest intro I have ever seen in any video game that I've ever played. And the game doesn't even try to censor any of it. No. It shows it. Like, it doesn't even care. It's so horrible for words that I'm not even going to... You know what? I probably should have put a disclaimer just for this episode, like, warning, you know, viewer discretion is advised due to possible language, along with spoilers and possible content. Because it's like this. And I'm just gonna say this right now. I don't know that much about the game, but what little I do know, I want to share with you guys. And if you don't want me spoiling the intro, I'm just going to say this. Right now, I'm issuing the spoiler alert. Pretty much, if you're watching this video and you don't care for spoilers, heed the spoiler alert and don't pay attention to the video until I say it's clear to listen. Now, for those of you that don't mind spoilers, it's like this. The beginning of Death End Request, you have a character, rather, you have a young-looking girl that's wearing spider legs. It actually ties in with the game's transformation, so don't ask. You have a character looking like that, and on top of that, she's fighting a shadowy creature. The thing is, the battle's going pretty badly. How badly, you might ask? Try the fact that she is literally... she's laying on the ground in a pool of her own blood. She's just hacking and coughing and sputtering. And the game even goes into great detail to describe the pain that she's feeling. Like, it's not even... like, I know that kind of seems like a simplistic explanation, but it's one of those things you want to see, but at the same time, it's a really dark intro, so it's probably better you don't watch it. Oh, and that tactic I was talking about earlier, just to interrupt myself for a little bit, that was it. Wait until the last few seconds of a no fighting match, and then yeah, wait until the last few seconds of a no fighting match, and then just simply take a point. That way you win. But anyways, just that state of that character, it made me cringe. And just so you know, that's only, like, the start of the game. It gets worse as you go in. Because for lack of better term, Death End Request, it's kind of unique. Because the thing of it is, not only are you playing as a game character inside another game, which is a cool concept, it's basically on the level like Sword Art, sometimes you come across roadblocks. And the thing of it is, you have to switch your perspective to the real world to actually be able to solve some of these issues. And pretty much enjoy the real world plot outside of the in-game video game plot. Now the thing of it is, the only comparison I can draw this to is how they used to do some of the Battle Network games for Mega Man for the Game Boy Advance. Like, at times, while fighting a boss or something, sometimes you'd have to go out. Sometimes you have to go outside the cyber universe to solve puzzles to continue. And Death End is basically using the same mechanic. So it's not that hard a concept. But the thing of it is, during one of the real life moments, though, the main character that's actually helping out... well, the main character gets helped out by, well, a programmer, no less. Because, as it turns out, the main character is a video game character. At least it's what it appears. And that's another... that's, again, you know, this is still spoiler territory, so... anyways. So, continuing on... she basically gets helped out by the programmer that sort of created her character. And he gets himself into a little bit of trouble at some point in the game. What type of trouble, you might ask? Well, it's like this. He gets a mysterious file. He can't open it by any means whatsoever on the computer. And as it turns out, there's this group of people that call themselves the Rabbits, and yes, I am not kidding. They are calling themselves the Rabbits. Like, at this point, honestly, I'm having, like, Dragon Ball level PTSD flashbacks. I'm like, oh boy, it's the Rabbit Gang again. No. These guys are worse than those guys. Because the fact of the matter is, for lack of a better term, they kidnap the main character, and they coerce him heavily into trying to give up, you know, where the file's at. And, as you can kind of imagine, they use all sorts of torture to try to get him to talk. And the thing is, he actually does suffer an injury because of it. But, of course, somebody saves him at the last second. But, yeah, it's just, if that doesn't paint a state of what the game is like, in terms of levels of darkness, then I have one last little brushstroke for you, so to speak. When you get to the forest-related dungeon inside the game, trust me, people that's played the game so far, they will know what I'm talking about. There's an unfortunate event where the mayor of said forest dungeon actually gets killed by somebody that's a rather unpleasant woman. She's quite the sadist. And she basically winds up killing all of the villagers. Her justification? Because I could. So, yeah, by now, I think I've thoroughly painted a picture, at least a small picture of what Death End is like. So, yeah. Anyways, but what has this got to do about the Mega Dimension topic? Because the way I see it, Mega Dimension VR was a rushed game. Because of the fact that since they regressed in the battle system, and they also took out certain DLC characters, namely Nitro Plus, God Eater Chan, and Million Arthur. Oh, by the way, when I finish talking about Death End, like, I'm not talking about it anymore, that's the end of the spoiler territory. So, yeah. So now it's safe to listen again. But anyways. So they took out the DLC characters. They regressed in the battle system. Honestly, the only reason I can conceive... The only conceivable reason that I can think of why Compile Heart Idea Factory did that, most likely they were already working on this plot structure for Death End Request. And given how long Death End Request is, because from what I heard a lot of people say, the length of the game is 50 hours. Now that doesn't sound so long because people who's played Persona 5 can testify that game takes 100 hours. The thing is, an average Compile Heart Idea Factory game, it's not that long. Because it's literally go to dungeon, go to dungeon, go to dungeon, event, character dialogue, go to dungeon, fight a boss, and so on, and rinse and repeat. With the occasional side mission if you want to get the true ending. That pretty much sums up a lot of the Idea Factory and Compile Heart games. Even the Neptunia ones. But the thing is, from what I heard a lot of people say, Mega Dimension VR actually took out the other endings that the game originally had. There's just the true ending. So, in essence, it's not really a true ending, it's just basically the ending. Reason why I feel like this is bad is because you don't really get that level of accomplishment that you feel if you got the true ending. So, that being said, let's count it off. Progression in battle tactics. Let's see, the removal of endings. Let's see, the removal of endings. Let's see, the removal of endings. The removal of DLC characters. And to top it off, a battle system that... Not battle system, but a bunch of moments that essentially is just fluff. Yeah, I kind of went silent there for a second because I didn't know what that dude was going to do. But yeah, with all of those features just taken out and extra characters removed, I mean, and that the fact that the VR events are essentially just filler fluff. My advice to you, do not buy Mega Dimension VR. It ain't worth it. Because the thing of it is, essentially, you're paying $60 just to view VR events. Because the game is pretty much the same as the base game. My thing is, do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor. Okay, seems like I'm getting a little bit of an error because the servers want to try to act up. And I seem to have lost my signal. Glorious. Yeah, I seem to have lost my signal. You know what? It's probably just as well because the thing of it is, it's like I said, today's episode wasn't really... It wasn't really going to be action-packed. And I will be the first to apologize for that. Like, in all honesty, the steps on the road to gold, there's going to be a lot of filler episodes, so to speak. So I guess you could say this is essentially a filler episode. Because, honestly, one match does not make for good footage. You have to have a few of them. At least in my book. But, and on top of that, since my signal keeps cutting in and out, I can't really do anything about that, so... Yeah. Pretty much until next time, guys, this is Phoenix Destiny, signing off.